hours before his town hall right here at Wood TV. Governor Rick Snyder spent the last hour laying out his vision for spending priorities in Michigan for the coming fiscal year.
24-hour News 8's political reporter Rick Albin will moderate tonight's town hall that will be live right in the studio. He's been listening to the governor's plan. Rick, what are you hearing?
Well, you know, this is another one of those places where Governor Rick Snyder employs that CPA background he has and was really explaining the budget in total. And it's going to be an interesting time because the governor laid out his spending priorities for the next year. It's about $51 billion. That's the neighborhood, and a pretty pricey neighborhood at that. Along with the lieutenant governor and budget director, the governor told legislators and others how he would like to spend the state's resources. He laid out how he thinks the state's economy is doing better, he says, but still there are forces that concern him about economic recovery. Chief among them, what he sees as an irresponsible federal government.
But number one, in terms of greatest risk, I put the federal government on that list. The federal government, Washington, is a mess. They haven't done a budget, they haven't reformed the tax system, and our national debt's growing way too large. All those issues need to be addressed, and they're significant threats to the comeback of Michigan.
Now, among his spending priorities, more than $1 billion for roads and Medicaid, more money for early childhood education and K-12 education as well, and $150 million for skilled trades and engineering education. He also wants a supplemental or additional spending bill for the current fiscal year. That would be $11 million to dredge harbors, nearly $3 million for veteran services, and authorization to use, not spend, but use more than $30 million in grant money from the federal government to set up a health care exchange for the Affordable Care Act. Those are just a few of the subjects that I would expect to come up tonight when Governor Snyder comes here for a town hall meeting. The state of Michigan, your money, your voice. Our live audience will pose questions to the governor as well as your questions at woodtv.com and at report.it at woodtv.com. And of course, I would expect a lot of questions beyond the budget, things like right to work, things about jobs, things about education, all of those things that he talked about. But today he laid out a pretty aggressive plan again. Of course, that's become kind of what we expect. He has, you know, he sets the bar pretty high on things he wants to do. And then he goes and works with the legislature. And the question is, are any of these things making a difference? And I suspect somebody may ask him that tonight, too.
Yeah, they might as well. I've seen a lot of those questions coming in here. There are a lot of really great ones that have been posed so far, and those will be brought to the governor this evening. But is he also using this town hall as a forum to be able to try to get legislators on his side for this budget? Because, you know, he does have a Republican legislature, but the problem here is that he's asking for more money than some of them want to spend.
Well, the problem when you start talking about another billion or $1.2 billion a year for roads, that's a hard sell to a party whose narrative is less taxes, less government. So yeah, that is a problem. And I guess to some degree, although the governor really prefers these town halls, it really is his preferred way of communicating. He did it all through, much to this reporter's dismay sometimes, all through the campaign, where he was really, you know, talking with the folks and not so much engaging, didn't do a lot of debates, did one in fact. So this is the way he likes to communicate with citizens, and so I think it's more of that, but he'll take any opportunity he can to talk to lawmakers too, because it's going to be some heavy lifting for him in Lansing this year.
It's going to be really interesting to see that this evening, and looking forward to it. Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.